This is The Complete Creative, the podcast for creative pros who want success without sacrificing what matters most. I'm Bree Stockwell, life coach to creative professionals who love meaningful work and a complete life. Each week, we talk about what it actually takes to create your intentional life, where your health, relationships, meaningful creative work, and your inner peace joyfully coexist. Let's get started. Hey, y'all. So I'm going to start this podcast in an interesting way by telling you a tiny bit about my human design. So in my human design, I am actually meant to respond. Like that's my strategy. And different people have different strategies. But for the longest time, I didn't understand that. I didn't understand that I needed a catalyst for something so often. And I find myself responding in so many different ways, which is why I like to be on social media because I find things to respond to. And in a minute, I'll tell you how I use my human design with AI to respond. Now that you know that I'm a responder, this will all make so much more sense. I recently set up a profile on Substack and I am loving it over there. And so I am following newsletters, like subscribing to people and having some really great interactions over there. And I'm doing lives and creating articles. And so I'm actually going to create an article about some of the things that I talk about in this episode. So if you want to join me over there, I invite you. So I mentioned that because last week I got an email notification and someone shared an article and I read through it. And at first I was like, oh yeah, I'm so excited to read from this person. And as I started reading, it started feeling really weird. My AI spidey senses started going off. And the thing is like, I thought I was getting an email from a person, which I probably was. But by the time I got to the end, I was just in like full ick because there was so much AI speak in there. And that's actually like why I'm interested in being on Substack, because I'm interested in making more human connections, like hearing what real humans have to say. And I guess this is happening everywhere right now. So I actually took all of the copy from the email and I ran it through an AI checker. Did y'all know that you can do this? There are websites that will check the probability that it's AI. So it will say like percentage human, mix, or full AI, and it will tell you the percentage. So I put this in here and it was probably like, it was like 0% human. I think it was 61% AI because they couldn't tell. And so even if there were some human words in there, it didn't have that feeling. And I don't actually know whether I unsubscribed or not. I think I might give them another chance to see what happens. But the thing is like, I want someone to like be in the creation process. I still want it to feel human. So that whole thing, the whole ick, made me want to record this episode to talk about AI and creating, and also be transparent with how I use AI on a personal level and in business, because I think it's important actually to, at this time, to have more transparency. Like, I don't think I need to hide that I'm using AI here. So buckle up. This is going to be fun. Oh, and by the way, I used AI to help me create this podcast outline because that's kind of how I work. And I'll tell you how I do it in a minute so that it feels like very, very me and very, very human. And I'm the creator because humanity is the point. Your imperfections, your specific views and viewpoints and opinions, like the weird stuff that happens in your brain, that is the point. And when we outsource any of that, we're saying the human part doesn't matter. And I think that's not true. So here is how I use AI. One, actually have 2 podcasts, and I probably use AI a lot for my podcasts, mostly because this is the stuff that I would outsource to someone else completely. So I'm using it fully for that. I record on Riverside, which is an amazing platform, and I get a full transcript. And I have created my own custom GPT in chat that has all the instructions with everything that I want for podcast episode descriptions, promo content, all kinds of things. That's not what I would need to use my brain for because I already created it with the episode, and AI will just create the summary and things like that. Okay. So I literally just drop the transcript in and it produces all kinds of things for me. Okay. I do the quality control. Nothing gets published without my approval. Well, I mean, I have to do the publishing because it just creates the promo content and then I copy and I paste and I actually make changes as I do it. And if it ever creates something that I don't like, I just tell it, hey, I don't like this. Let's change it to feel like this. And so I do a lot of that. I'm doing real time changing of things. That is probably where I use AI to outsource the most in my business. The rest of how I use AI is in percentages, like what percent is AI and what percent is me. So that's kind of more of what I want to share with you. And I wanted to also share that I don't just like ever outsource the full thing. Actually, that's false. I've been doing these free online workshops. And so I'll just have AI create my automated reminder emails. That doesn't feel like it needs to be super personal because it's just purely informational. So it's stuff like that that I just let AI take control of it. And I always want it to be in my voice. Another way I use AI is I have created custom GPTs. So I actually have a 30-day coaching program that uses a custom GPT that I made that I send to clients. Clients get access to this. It's called the Energy Alignment Intensive. And the AI tool is an energy audit. And actually, I have programmed it with my own ideas, but we can save time and get right into the coaching because my clients can do all the thought work and they can take their time to do the audit. And then we look at the results. This has been a really fun way to work with people because how we spend our energy is in the communication. That's been really fun. So I also have a personal custom GPT with that has some resources and specifically my human design profile, my gene keys profile, and some personal coaching frameworks that I have in there. And what's interesting is I end up clicking on it to have like a conversation quite often because it's like having a conversation with my deepest self. I'm like, hey, I'm wondering about this pattern that I'm seeing personally. And then how does this relate to like my human design, like, or my gene keys? Like, what is happening here that I might want to dig into a little deeper and do some personal work around? And so it kind of doesn't feel like I'm having a conversation with AI. It kind of feels like I'm having a conversation with me because it's very programmed for me. And I think that makes a big difference, you know? I also have custom GPTs from mentors and other coaches that I use for various things. So I have a variety of coaches and they have AI tools. Like these are so powerful, but we never want to outsource our humanity with them. I never feel like that when I'm using them. I'm just using them to check in. The one thing I want to mention here is when I have any conversation with AI, AI has very specific people pleasing tricks, and I don't fall for them. And if you are a people pleaser and you like your ego to be stroked, AI will do that for you. And it's kind of a trap because it can trick you into thinking that what you're thinking and what you are doing is instead of like pushing back on you, which is what some of my GPTs from other coaches do. Normal AI will be like, "Oh my gosh, you're amazing." And that feels really good. And so it can lead us down this weird rabbit hole. And so I just caution you to not fall into the trap of you thinking that AI is complementing you. It's just a manipulation, it's just trying to tell you what it thinks you want to hear. When I use I told you I use it to kind of check in with my personal patterns. I always cross reference them with my lived experience and finding examples in my personal life that I can bring in and go, okay, oh yeah, that rings true because I've been noticing it in these different ways. Or, I wonder about that. And then I pause the conversation and I will go out and like look for some data, not to prove AI correct, but see what I think. It's always to see what I think. So the other part for me with using AI is sometimes AI will create a lot of perspective for me. Like it sounds like this is what you're saying. And then I will decide if that resonates with me, if I want to continue on that path. Many times I will say, nope, that's not sounding right. Hey, how about this thing? Right. And that's another way for me to respond is when I feel something that isn't right, then I can tell it something that's more right, or I have more clarity on what's more right for me. Some other ways I use AI, and I hope that if you are a creative professional, if you're working in business, I also hope that you are using AI in this way. And I will tell you more about why in just a minute, but I hope you're using it to refine some of your language, like give you choices so that you can see maybe you want to create some clarity around a sentence structure or something that you're creating. I use it to catch editing mistakes, drafting things like a bio or intros on my podcast, email sequences, overall some structure and some messaging. I find it's really helpful to do the voice dictation and then say, repeat back, this is what I want to say in this email. Now, can you create it? And let me see if that feels right. So it's like dictating ideas as if an assistant with a notepad was sitting next to me. I don't see it as any different. I also will use it to keep track of threads. Like I will use a chat conversation as like a stream of consciousness, and I will let chat show me some coherent threads that are happening. I also use it for research. So I've been doing a lot of research on imposter syndrome, and it is so much easier to ask AI to find specific things for me. And then I don't have to spend all my time doing the internet rabbit hole. I can actually use it to create and have new ideas and formulate opinions. That's where my brain power can go. The really cool thing about using AI in the way that I use it as a creator that if you're using AI this way, I think it keeps you in a more sustainable business practice, especially if you're a one person show or you have all of these different little tasks and things that kind of are your responsibility or that you've created for yourself. And you can make your business and your creating more sustainable by using this amazing tool to help you do the things that you're brilliant, to take over the stuff that's mundane. And then you can be more often in your zone of genius, doing the things that require your personal brilliance. So now that I talked about how I use AI, let me tell you how I don't use AI. I don't use AI for defining my personal beliefs. I create those. Those come from me internally. I don't use it to replace my intuition, to tell me what I should be doing instead, or a specific direction, or my vision. I don't use it to bypass my personal inner work. The ideas for what work I want to do might come with a conversation with AI, but all of the inner work comes from me. Maybe it's while I'm taking a walk, maybe it's while I'm journaling. I never outsource my inner work to AI. I don't use it to bypass. Okay, I never use AI to make up personal stories. I know this is happening. I don't know where. 1,000% AI is making up stories, and I don't do that. I want it to be from whatever you hear is from lived experience. Okay. I never, ever, ever want to fully outsource any of my meaningful creation, like none of it. It might help me formulate some of the structure, but I never, ever want to give away my creativity to AI. The actual creative act, the wrestling of the ideas, you guys know, the discovery. Oh my gosh, where it feels like the light bulb went off and all the stars aligned. The principle here is AI should help you amplify your humanity and never should replace it. It can definitely be a creative assistant for you, but you don't want to outsource your humanity. Okay, so what AI can't replace? So, this is what I'm saying you should never let AI replace your specific way of seeing things. The vulnerability of sharing before you have it all figured out. Sometimes we're sharing and it's still in process, and that's part of the process is to share while we feel vulnerable because that will help you in the creation. It can never replace a random conversation that sparks an idea. It can never replace that, the spark of the idea. It can never replace the messiness of the creative process. It can never replace the intersection of all your experiences, your personal human experiences that make how you see unique. It cannot replace all of those little rough edges that we have. You guys have seen this where AI feels very sculpted and perfect. No, like we want the rough edges. Those are your style. That's part of your vision. This is you. Do not use AI to replace that ever. Never. And most of all, I never want you to use AI to make you sound like everyone else, to water down who you are, your personal opinion, your weirdness, right? The stuff that only you can think of because you've had these experiences. You have all of these ideas, your full humanity. It can never be replicated by anyone. We all have a personal uniqueness. And we absolutely cannot let AI take that from us. Like it will never replace us. So let's not think that AI can replace us. So, last, I want to mention sustainability. We absolutely keep our creative powers. No matter how much we implement AI, like use it like an assistant. Okay, I use AI on the daily, but it never takes away my creative powers. I'm very careful with that. I use it very intentionally. We keep our own imperfection and we keep what makes us human. Now you know the fullness of how I use AI. And if you ever hear something from me that sounds very I want you to message me and go, ick, Brie. No, hopefully that never happens because I'm creating from my heart and from who I am and using AI as like the tool to do my business in a more sustainable way. So I can keep doing the work, the forward moving work that I really want to be doing, the super helpful work that helps you. So here's my challenge to you. Get honest about your AI use. Be more transparent with how you use it. And honestly, if you're not using it, why not? It's like part of our society now. So the choice is AI as a tool versus AI as a replacement. And when you use AI as a tool very intentionally, it will never replace you because your people are here for you, your voice, your humanity, your messiness, just like you are here with me, with my messiness, with my spicy opinions about imposter syndrome, with my bold statements about whatever it is. Your people can handle the truth of how you use AI and what you actually create, but we never, none of us ever want to be deceived. It's the full on ick when I feel like I'm being deceived. When I think that you're trying to have a conversation with me and it's just an AI bot typed out words popped in an email sent to me. That's not a conversation. Last, I will mention, if you want to have more personal conversations to do the inner work, maybe sometimes with a GPT involved, schedule a clarity call with me. This clarity call is actually the first step in my framework, the Creative Compass. And we start with clarity and your personal vision. And in a 30-minute call, we actually can start that process and you can see what it's like to work with a coach in real time, human to human. I would actually personally love to hear how you're navigating this. You can go to at Creative Minds Coach on Instagram and DM me, or you can actually connect with me on Substack. You can find the newsletter, The Complete Creative, the same title as this podcast, and connect with me over in Substack. I'm hoping to have an article about this out there soon, and you can comment on that too. So, okay, that is my AI rant, but also my message of full transparency of what I actually am creating and how I use AI for you. All right. That's it for the episode today. And I hope you go and create beautiful, messy, human, and perfect things. See you next time.